Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Marsh coming to you over the interwaves with this very non-biased cast. I, Marsh, will be casting a game between this fine blue Terran called Marshmellow, which is definitely not myself. It actually isn't. I play Protoss and Zerg at a decent level and Terran at no level whatsoever. And there's a Protoss on this side who we will not be cheering for. We will most definitely be cheering for Marshmellow. Purely due to the fact that he has a name very similar to mine. He's missing an A in the Marsh bit, and I'm not sure why he's mellow. But nobody's perfect. Not as perfect as me in any case. Welcome to another community cast. Taking this replay from our castit, your subreddit where you can have your games cast by members of the community, in this case myself. If you're lucky, maybe even somebody more talented in casting than myself. If on the other hand you think you can do better than me, go to cast it yourself, find some of these games and cast them and show me how wrong I really am. Standard opening for both players. We have gas and a barracks on this side for Marsh, and after a gateway we've got an expand for our Protoss. Getting the orbital command over here, and a reactor to pump out some extra Marines if he so chooses. And puts his command center on the high side just to be completely safe from any rushes from the Protoss, which would target his SCV, building it, causing much annoyance and other bad things for this wonderful, wonderful man with the great name. Probe is sticking around. If he knows his timings, he knows he's got 18 seconds before the first Marines drop out, so he does a little bit of damage, 60 damage on this reactor, as Marsh builds his 2 Marines. In the meantime, we've got the cybernetics core being taken and warp case research being done right away, and Wombo should know exactly how much trouble he's not in with only 2 Marines coming out at the same time and a command center being built. He knows that there's no way that Marshmellow can come over there and punish his greed of taking a Nexus so fast. Although this is pretty standard play, it's hardly greeding, I suppose. Taking this opportunity to go over to the other side with a mothership core and a stalker, by which time Marshmellow should have 8 Marines, so that is quite risky. If he has good control, then there's nothing to worry about that, of course. As a non-stim Marine will never out-kite a stalker. Although the mothership core is not as fast, and bad things could happen to that. So if Wombo's control is good, then he should be able to pick up to generate any free damage on these Marines. But Marshmellow smartly positioning them on the high ground in such a way that he can't do anything about it. And Wombo taking an interesting route back. In the meantime, this stalker picked up a scouting SCV, I suppose. I missed that, I'm sorry. So, what have we got over here? Well, we've got our first tech lab coming in for the barracks in order to get upgrades there, I suppose. And a siege tank and a Raven. Really? Raven, that's an interesting choice. Putting the siege tank very defensively. So one stalker may be thinking something along the line of Blink stalkers, which isn't far from the truth, with Blink actually being on the way. and an observer in order to create the high ground vision. So that is a very nice call on the part of Marschmellow here. Maybe something in the meta at about his level of play that I'm not familiar with, but a very nice call indeed. We've got a pylon being warped in for the fast warp ins. Maybe he's going to put down an extra warp gate beside it in order to facilitate the fast warp ins. Or you may just think that the 10 seconds is enough. Looks for a second like Marschmellow is sending a Raven over there to check, but in the end does not. Instead it's putting it on a patrolling path. We've got Marines in this mineral line and at the front here, just in case there's any oracles coming across. And in the meantime, with Blink nearing completion, we've got... how many of these do we have? 10 stalkers. And where is the nearest? Ooh, that was the first observer gone. So that's going to push his assault back quite a bit. That's what the Raven is for. Makes me wonder if this is not just a ladder game, but in fact a custom game between these two. Or whether Marschmellow, being a wonderful human being with a great name, just has fantastic game sense. He should be losing this medevac, and he does. But the army does loop around, which gives him a perfect chance to just go into space and kill stuff, including that attacking nav. Researching, I didn't even have a chance to look that up. Most likely either combat shields or stim. If you had a little bit more confidence, you could have gone into the mineral line for, say, 4 or 5 SCVs before blinking out. But now with the tank in place, he is forced back. And the SCV is repairing something, but not this barracks. Oh, this second SCV is doing this actually. Now with all the army here, this is entirely clear. Well, there's one tank, but a single blink should take care of that. And he should be seeing that with this. Yep, with this observer. Very nice blink, taking care of a very expensive tank, both in terms of money as in building time, and a very nice point defense drone in order to keep that Raven alive and anything else he might have wanted to shoot. So we have 2 tanks here and 1 tank. Very worth it. With 3 shots they get quite a bit of worth, but it is possible that Wombo left some of his stalkers behind here. No, he gets a chance in order to pull back. In the meantime, while this was going on, a complete Nexus warped in. And nope, that is not the right button. Do we have a 3rd orbital command? So also Marschmellow is ready to expand. We've got 1-1 on the way for the Terran and not for the Protoss, but the Protoss is warping in even. Archons. Switching to Zealot Archon. Did I miss the Zealot charge upgrade? Yes, I did, because I was very much focused on the battle here, much as Wombo, I would say. And with that, or Marschmellow even, and with that he's given his opponent quite the chance to get ahead economically. Now, when it comes to workers, he's not that far ahead, but if you look at what those workers are doing, well, not so much. 4th base coming down for Wombo, and Marschmellow is finally moving out with his expansion. But the stalkers of this enemy are still there, and his units aren't even close to being on the low ground. Now, the range of siege tank is quite impressive, but not that impressive. Manages to get the upgrade there again, but at the cost of quite a few stalkers. Let's see if we have that. 7 stalkers in total lost versus 5 units, 2 siege tanks, a medevac, and 4 SCVs, and a number of tech labs. Although I'm not sure there's a button for showing me exactly. Oh, with the fresh warpins here, should be able to get his opponent to go back. What is he researching? Ah, I wasn't too late again. Very nice maneuvering there, forces his opponent back. That army was quite impressive and would have been quite the problem for the army back here. Oh, and moving his medevac right into stock fire. This is very nice maneuvering by Wombo. But Marschmellow finally cleans up with an army on one side and the other, and these stalkers can't do anything except if you send in one marine at a time. And with a warp prism in play, he can now continuously threaten a backstab. In the meantime though, if we look at the army supply, Marshmellow's got the advantage. The problem is he can't do anything with it. With an army of mobile stalkers in one hand and a war prism on the other, there's just too high a chance to leave your base and then get absolutely murdered. Oh, and warping in right on top of his army, but not seeing it. Outside the range of the siege tanks. Well, the army is enough to hold it off. Ooh. Oh, and even cutting off the retreat. Almost. Doesn't manage to kill any of the stalkers, but had some siege tanking in place to do some additional damage. And the war prism's still there. And this pylon is still there for some slower warpins. In the meantime, Marshmellow did manage to sneak in a triple drop, and this should be able to do quite a bit of damage. Now his army's all the way over here, and he can't really do anything. So taking care of one forge, two forge, one pylon, depowering one of the robo-bays, and the army finally approaches, and he manages to get out. So that was very nice drop. Let's see, where are we at in upgrade? So we have 3-3 on the way. No, we have 3 third attack speed, not the armor, but we have 2 armor versus 1-1 of the Protoss. So while the Protoss does have the economic advantage with 5 bases, while the 5th one just coming in, Marshmellow has the upgrade advantage. He has the tech. Well, I wouldn't say the tech advantage. Well, that's a slow warp in. I hate it when I accidentally warp in the slow one. Because when we talk about tech, we do have the 2 robo bays. We don't have a robo support bay. Yes, we have a robo bay. Right under my nose in the same screen as well. And we have the Templar archives. So he does have access to all the tech, but then again, so does the Terran, or at least the standard tech. Neither of them have Stargates. Oh, don't. Those were very nice feedbacks. That was just not good. Still, Marshmellow with 191 supply. How is that in army supply? Quite nice. Got a few liberators. Can set up quite nicely with that, of course. How many liberators do we have? We have 3 liberators. Ooh, and those Templars just getting great feedbacks, great storms. And now the Zealots move in, getting right up on the siege tank. Is definitely not where you want them. But Marshmellow holds. After the Zealots are gone, there's just nothing there, and this 2-2 shreds the 1-1 of the Protoss, leaving nothing but this one singular High Templar who can do absolutely nothing as he is ruthlessly chased down. Losing that War Prism, and with the 4th base on location, things are starting to look very good for Marshmellow. 3 armor on its way as well, and Wombo has rebuilt his forges and is currently researching 2-2 while laying siege to this 5th, making sure that nothing will come of this investment of 400 minerals. And 2075, the other one was cancelled, this one not, I believe. You don't want to go in here as Protoss. With siege tank in place and with liberators guarding the way, you are just going to get chomped up. With the siege tanks not in siege mode on the other hand, and with the liberators not in liberator mode or freedom mode, if I listen to Nathanius, it is a much better trade. And here we get a small strike force just get absolutely trounced by the full might of the army of Wombo. Does use this chance to move in on the 4th base, however, and should be able to completely wreck this, as there is nothing in the way to deal with it. Wombo moves in with the Zealots alone on the planetary fortress with SCVs repairing and an RB decided that should come to absolutely nothing. And Wombo moving back in order to, well, not defend this base, because that's just not going to happen, but he does take this base and at the same time denies this base being taken. Very nice action going both ways very quickly. And we lost the mothership core and a lot of units not doing anything. Oh, that is painful. Small group of Marines and Marauders cleaning up these stalkers. Then they have to clean up this warping pylon. And then he can land this land center again. Ooh, and these guys. If there was a Stargate somewhere, you could just slowly pick that up. No 3-3 on the way yet. Retaking this base. And Marschmellow moves back in. Let's see, where's the army? The army is far away. You should be able to take out these 2 forges again, denying his opponent his 3-3, and get out without much damage being taken. Or one, I did not see if that was a full one. Ooh, you don't want to stay there. You do not want to stay there, Marschmellow. Those Marines are going to get absolutely wrecked. He does manage to get out there with 1.5 medevacs, which gets spotted by both the control tower and the observer. And in the meantime, we have a small run-by of Zealots being sent here, which is seen by Marschmellow, but only in the way that it actually shows up in his vision, not that he actually sees it, notices it, and does anything about it. So we have the army lead for Wombo right now, but 3-3 versus 2-2 still. So we have the upgrade advantage for Marschmellow, and Wombo moves 1 Templar, no, not Templar, Archon, thank you, into some liberator circles by itself, and it gets shut down. And here come the Zealots, knowing that he has to keep his army there. Because he threatens with this army, he sends a Zealot in here to die horribly on the planetary fortress, because they're not going to do anything. If he puts some stalkers here, and the engagement starts right here, he should be able to take care of these liberators. He does, and the storm manages to force all the bio back. And Marschmellow has to regroup right at the doorstep of his base. And he does so very well, taking out most of the forces of Wombo and having enough bio left standing to take care of what Wombo has left. With 4 stalkers, he managed to get out of there. So let's see. Ooh! And at the same time, Wombo uses his warpins not to reinforce his main army, but to warp in a bunch of Zealots who are killing lot. No, wait, this one. 26 workers killed so far in this game for Wombo. His zealot's doing quite nice. And 2 disruptors on the way, including another war prison. And with the third rebuild of his forges, and I can't say I agree with this positioning, he finally gets his 3-3. No shield upgrades just started just yet. With the amount of Archons he has built, I'm not sure he's got any left at the moment, but he did lose quite a few. That might have been a worthwhile investment. So we have 1 mining base, mined out, 2-ish mining base, 3 okay, so we have enough income for Wombo. In the meantime, Marschmellow can mine here, and then he should be sort of out of most everything. Luckily for him, Wombo killed most of his units that would be doing the mining there. He's got 52 left, but with mules, that just leaves more room for army units, such as the one here and such as the one here, taking out 2 bases in the meantime, as well as equaling the units or the work skill tab, even surpassing it. And Marschmellow gets out of there with 2 medevacs, almost full at least, and sees this base being built as well. There's quite a few minerals left here. Oh, and seeing this one as well, but he can't do anything about this really because he gets hunted down by these stalkers. And these stalkers should be able to just blink forward and take out that last medevac as well, if he wasn't also busy trying to do this. Very nice with activities on both fronts, or on 2 fronts even, as there could be a 3rd one started if you so wanted. 2 kills, 6 kills a disruptor, and still, look at that army supply. After 22 minutes of back and forth, losing, how many bases have been lost? Quite a few. We still have such an equal army supply. It's a very nice game on both of these players. And Wombo rebuilding that. Well, but Marschmellow going there with a number of different armies. Is he grouping that up into one thing? Quite likely, but Wombo is right on his tail. With his army of regular hitters, charging zealots, as well as his death balls. But with this ramp, there is a lovely choke he could have done if it wasn't for zealots just going right through there, and the photon overcharge on the other side, including some stalkers which were still there from shutting down some of his the medevacs of Marschmellow. That takes care of the siege, no, liberators, sorry, quite nicely. And what did I say about this positioning? Somewhere during the engagement over here, which was going on at the same time over here, while this is going on here, my apologies if I'm not managing to keep pace, that forge was taking out, therefore the Protoss is on 3-2, and now the 3rd armor level is started up again. I would love to know and go back to see when exactly, more zealots being thrown away at a infantry fortress. I'd love to see when the Terran managed to get 3-3 and the difference between that time and when. Oh, that is a very nice group that will absolutely shrek these guys. And when the Protoss is finally going to get 3-3, there must have been at least, I mean, the Terran had an upgrade advantage the entire time. Dropping over on this side, scaring off all the probes that were there, and manages to take out that Nexus without any problems. Should be able to pick off, to pick up and take off without taking any additional damage, or try and stay here and fight and get most of them murdered. Still takes out, what is that, 6 Marines? And I think those were 3 medevacs to start with. I did do that. And hot on the heels here, you don't want to take that group on with just stalkers. Even with very good point control, you shouldn't be able to win that. And Marschmellow, is that the original? That is the original. He also has his third. He's relocated his third at some point, or he lost it and I missed it. Wombo expanding here again, but there's a fresh group of bio right there in order to stop that. And this orbital command should be going down as well. And just 2 medevacs worth of units should not be enough to deny that. And there goes the command center, and there goes, oh, a full medevac. That is not nice. Does allow this one to live. Trying to sneak and see if he can land over here, or just running away, one of the two. But there's a nexus already planted there again. And Wombo re-expands here. At this time we have an army supply lead for the Protoss, as Marschmellow recognizes that he can't do this. Lol, goddamn. Late game is intense. Well, you should try casting it once. Bloody hell. But not nearly as intense as playing it, I know. At this point I've forgotten most of my special tricks. I'm just trying to keep up with all the things going on in the map. Now with this amount of zealots, he should be able to kill a refinery, because that's all he's doing. Marschmellow positioning his army, including a Banshee. I wonder if that was a misclick. No, he's making another one. Interesting. With the amount of stalkers that have been going around, that is an interesting investment, because Wombo has been moving around with stalkers pretty much the entire game. There was a small period of time when just our Charge Alcohol. Did I miss the upgrade of stealth? Nope, that is the stealth for the Ghost. And do we have a nuke? No, we have a nuke. But the army is too late to do anything about this, and this nexus will go down again for, I think, the 3rd time now. Ooh. And all the zealots charge in. And we've got 2 High Templars joining in there with very nice storms. Not enough to kill everything, and there's not enough left on the ground in order to kill it. And for the first time in a while, I think we have a army lead for the Terran. Or however, the Terran is in the production of not the Terran. There goes that shield upgrade. The Protoss is in the base and the production of the Terran. But in the meantime, we have a small army, a very small army of Terran in the base of the Protoss. What are you going to do with one High Templar with no energy? Not so much. Die horribly. Going into the production himself, but with Protoss, of course, you can warp in anywhere you want, as long as your gateways are powered, which is what he's trying to do now, or unpowered at least. And Wombo trying to make this choke point count. What is there? That is full. Is that a... Oh no, I thought that was a full mana pack there, but those were unbuildable rocks. In the meantime, can he get enough energy for a Cyanox Storm? No, he cannot. He's going to die again horribly. And that resets, if he's smart, pretty much all the tech for the Protoss. In the meantime, there are still zealots in his opponent's base, and we appear to be going for somewhat of a base race, which, if memory serves me, is never a good thing for Protoss, as Terran buildings fly. And there is no Stargate, which means that the Protoss can't chase. Now let's see, he will probably be rebuilding over on this side, yes. And the zealots are finally cleared up. Was that this Liberator? It was at least in part this Liberator. So 50 army supply for Marshmellow, 24 for Wombo. No minerals for Marshmellow though. With this should be pretty much his only mining base left, and there's no command centers left. No, there's one which can move, but it will be very tricky to move it somewhere useful. And in the meantime, Marshmellow's taking care of, well, not everything. He could have stayed and taken out some of those pylons, limiting the amount of army that Wombo could be warping in. Instead, trying to find out where Wombo has his hooks rebuilt. Now, if he just rebuilds one probe there and repower some of this stuff, he can at least build stalkers again. Ooh, that is a long range. I forgot he got the range. Don't go up there. He's got storms. You do not want to move up there. Repositioning here because there was one zealot there, and with that and the incredible amount of mule energy he has here, he should be able to get some minerals here again. Moving the marauders in the front to soak up stuff. He still hasn't rebuilt the energy to these things. And sending a drop in that direction, yes. Oh, but that means on this side you are woefully undermanned in order to stop that army. And Marshmellow smartly backs up and sends in this backstab to take care of this base. Kill a bunch of workers. No, just kill a bunch of workers and not the base. Oh, he's getting the base after all. No, he's not. Alright, and now he's going to lose a shit ton of medevacs as they all get focused down by the stalkers. So 66 army supply for Wombo and 37 for Marshmellow. And if you knew this, you could just go out and crush him. What do we have on income? Well, they're both have income. Not something you'd expect at this stage of the game, perhaps. Oh, and going to long distance mining here. No, there's nothing that's floating there. And a small group runs into this other small group, which has the potential to kite. But with one, ooh, that was a interesting EMP. With one medevac, they're not going to get continuously healed as Marshmellow pulls back further, and his one mining base should get all the SCVs killed as they try to take on an Archon with 3-3, which is generally not a good way of winning the fight. And so now Marshmellow is long distance mining, whereas so is Wombo, but at least Wombo has a Nexus on its way. 40 army supply to 66. What are we building? A Marauder and 2 Marines. Oh boy. We still have a Liberator. Do we have 1 Liberator? We have 3 Liberators. That's, oh, we have 2 in the base. If only he had those here in the fight with this army. 3 Liberators, especially if he managed to choke this up between the barracks, should be able to do quite a bit of damage. And he warps in Zealots in order to stop this long distance mining. Oh, and this Marauder is going to go and get in a world of hurt. There are the other 2 Liberators. And, well, those are nice storms, but they are on Marauders, and Marauders can survive. Now, if only there was a medevac on the way, of which there is one, then he could heal that up. And Marshmellow is considering his fate, because Wombo is mining, and he is, well, not. I mean, he can kill these 2 Zealots, which would signal to this army that they can just move in. And it seems that Marshmellow is accepting his fate. Oh, with the Templars just there in order to throw down the storms. Oh, have to dodge the Liberators. Oh, Yeah, well, they're going to get taken down, so that's quite the costly affair. And Marschmellow, yep, complementing the blinks, which were quite impressive of his opponent. That was true. He lost quite a number of full medevacts. And oh, you're not going to go to a corner, are you? Oh, come on! You're complimenting your opponent. You're being sportsmanlike. And now you're going to go to a corner. That's not very nice. Besides, he can just he's still got a cybernetic score, so he can just build a Stargate if he so chooses. He doesn't. Yeah. I suppose that is a compliment. It would have been more, you know, well-meaning if you didn't just float your buildings. Oh, and there are those links again. Yeah, you're not going to survive this attack. There you go. And that's the game. GG, well played.